on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever, on Facebook as well, especially in the To All the Girls Success Club. My name is Lisa Dublin, and I am a health and life coach. So if you are that person who's looking for that kind of support, DM me, send me an email or a text. Let's set up a consultation, see what life coaching can do for you, because life coaching takes you from good to great. It takes you from good to great. It has done that for me and in my own lifetime. And I am just happy to be that kind of coach who is a support to my clients. Anyway, we continue our series on resilience today. Part of resilience is having a clear mind. Part of being resilient is being able to command your day, which is why, hi Dahlia, good morning to you, which is why we want to start with our confessions. I do it a lot. I am blessed and highly favored, above only and not beneath, the head and not the tail. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I shall lend and not borrow, and I have nothing missing and nothing broken. If that is cringeworthy, like why is she saying this on live TV? It's because life demands it, okay? Life demands that you go beyond what is just the niceties and you deal with things where they are. And I am that kind of person. Anybody who knows me knows that I am that kind of person, okay? And so we want to talk about this morning the fact that you are more resourceful than you know. Do you think that? Do you believe that right now, as you are, where you are, in your circumstance, that if you dig deep enough, you might be able to find resources and strengths and attitudes within you that can serve you to get out of whatever situation or to accomplish any goal? A couple days ago, this thought came to me and I just wrote it down. And you can quote me because it's a big thought. And thoughts are things, I always say, thoughts move you forward, produce feelings that give you actions that give you results. Here's the thought, and we're going to take the whole resilient talk from this one. The only reason you don't know you can fly is because you have not left the ground. The only reason you don't know you can fly is because you have not left the ground. Hey, Lisa on Instagram. Hey, Emlyn. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. What would you do if you took that leap? And I wrote down a couple reasons that we don't take the leap, that we don't leave the ground, we don't try new things or try things again. Here are some reasons. Number one, and it's one that I deal with all the time. I've never done it before. I I don't know what to expect. I've never been this way before. And there's fear. There's not knowing. There's all of the things that come when you are on unfamiliar territory. So that's one of the reasons that we do not, go forward and try new things. The other reason is you failed at it before. So if I failed before, why would I even try again? And my viewers today, I want to present that as faulty thinking because we need to break it down. What does it mean that you've tried it before? You can look at it two ways, but we'll get into that. The other reason that we don't ever try new things and we never try to, do something outside of our comfort zone, something that we think is going to be difficult, is because we don't have any examples of people doing those kinds of activities or overcoming those challenges around us. We don't have any examples, or maybe we think we don't. One of the things that I have learned to do is to have role models from afar. Because sometimes I swear, like I'll be speaking to my role models who know nothing about me. I'm just content to take what they offer, maybe on social media, if it makes sense, if it resonates with me. I don't need to have a conversation with you for me to take what you offer and run with it. Does that make sense? And you can do the same. So I think we can literally take this last one and throw it out the door. You do have examples. You just don't want to appropriate them. You sometimes it's like, who do I think I am? Like in my situation is different. No. You do have examples. And here's the other way of looking at it. When you have failed at something, you can look at it in two ways. It's either I failed at it, I'm not going down there, I got burnt, never me again. And I was like that along for a long time with friendships. Honestly, I haven't had in the past the greatest friendships. And if I'd listened to my quivering heart, my cowering heart, my hurt heart, I would never, like give people the benefit of the doubt, put myself out on a limb, or accept friendship from other people because I would not trust myself. But here's the thing, because you failed at friendships before, just using my example as an example, you know what to look out for. And underlying all of this is a point that, I'm pretty sure that there's a way. Hi, good morning. Good morning. I'm pretty sure there's a way to get it done. I just need to know how. So there's that underlying sense of a can-do attitude. That's like me running on the treadmill. And even before I begin, I'm like, you know what? I'm give or take 3 miles today. So I'm working backwards from the end. It's 3 miles today. I don't care how you feel. I don't care. 3 miles today. It's that same kind of can do attitude that where you have failed at something before, there should be approach it with that resilience. Like, I'll find a way. Other people have done it, even if I failed at it. The fact that other people have done it, I'll find a way. And I'm going to look at my failure for the lessons. I'm going to look at what I did right in the situation. I'm also going to look at the ways that I could have done better. And then I will decide what I'm going to do next time that will make me more likely to succeed. Make sense? What I really want to talk about today, this thing about I've never done it before. You guys know how the Bible talks about there not being anything new under the sun? One of the things when I teach clients, you know how I say my little tagline for now is I help clients to speak, to live, and to lead with confidence. Because that's just what I do. I can't help you to jump with confidence. But I don't know. I just simply combine the things that I do to have a unique proposition in the market as a coach. So my clients will come to me with everything from interviewing for interviews to media stuff to dealing with relationships to getting exercise right, because I'm a general life coach who just happens to have that skill set, so it makes sense for my clients. One of the things that I teach with people that I prepare for interviews is you have transferable skills. What look in your basket, look back in your life, in your last job, and I'm coming back to our resilient topic, so bear with me. Look in there to see what you have and what you've done. What skill have you honed in your lifetime that can now be applied to the new position that you are, applying for? You mightn't have all the qualifications, but there might be transferable skills that if you can sell yourself on those, you're more likely to get through maybe to the second round and lastly third round, etc. It's the same thing when you are faced with a challenge that you've never done before. Don't look at the challenge. Look at what are the attitudes, what are the best practices that might be required for me to accomplish this thing. And then you look back at your life. Have I ever done something new? Have I ever done something hard? Have I ever started something and finished? Have I ever not known what to do and then along the way I found my grounding, my footing, and I finished well? All of these are transferable skills, transferable attitudes as well. And if you all of this goes back to no matter what, I will find a way. No matter what, even though I might have the direct things being asked for or transferable things, the end result as far in my mind is I will find a way. So what transferable skills in life do you have right now? We have those big pillars in life. A couple months ago, I began following, hey, Thrive Alive, how are you? Hi, Cherry Peaks. Hey. A couple months ago, I began following Jamal King. And Jamal King, he's known as the 9 to 5 millionaire. You can check him out on social media. He's very, very man of faith, just a couple of great things together. And he runs his life like in five pillars: faith, family, finances, fitness, and future. Right. And it just makes sense. A lot of people have picked up on that because sometimes I feel like that concept of his is very much like a seminal concept like the Think and Grow Rich book or maybe even Atomic Habits. It's that big a thought. Just divide life into those five columns and try to hit each of them every single day. That's what he's done for the last 40 something years, and it has worked for him. And when I think of those broad topics in the context of, can I transfer where I have won in one area of my life to another, it works. So maybe you might be struggling with exercise fitness, or maybe it might be you might be struggling with being a good parent or finances, whatever it is, relationships. My goodness, I'm not speaking to people who are just starting life out. Okay, you've lived. The fact that you're here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever, you've lived a little bit. Even if even you're a teenager watching me, you have lived a little while. There might be some triumph or victory or a skill that you've learned in one area of these pillars that you can now look at and say, how did I do it? So, for example, I've got the exercise thing down, and especially like over the last years, like honed building time with God. That has been very important to me. So now, when I look at other areas of my life where I want to have the same kind of discipline, I now go back to what was the attitude that made me want to take on exercise, want to pursue relationship with God, want family? What are those skills that what are those desires? Like, how did I start off? And I always say, go back and watch my videos on my YouTube channel, Basement Chronicles. You can go, please subscribe there. um let me see, there is, so you can go subscribe to Basement Chronicles on YouTube. And I always do those videos on wanting what you want badly enough, and even in going after new goals in other areas in my life where I find I need to come up a little bit. I start with what I did in those areas. You can do the same thing too. So even if you're facing something new, you do have areas in your life where you have succeeded. Go back there and see why it is you succeeded. What were those factors within you, around you, that made it possible for you to succeed? Does that make sense? I hope it does. It makes sense for me. Another reason that we don't want to step out is because we don't have people around us to support us. You might maybe live with people or be around friends who are very negative. How do you deal with that? You just shut up. Think about it. If you're going to be telling people what you want to do and get pushback, right? And we're going to talk about that one in a lot, because I've realized two things about talking to people about your dreams and ideas. The first one is, if you live and you are around super negative people, guard your tongue. You need to guard your tongue anyway, but particularly with your dreams and what you're planning to do. If you are going to get people who will be scoffing at you, laughing at you, be scared for you to the point where they dissuade you from going forward, keep quiet, please. That's the first thing. That's how you solve that problem. The second thing that I have realized is this: when we are trying to do something new, do you know sometimes we speak to the people who know nothing about what we want to do? I have found myself doing that. Especially obviously, if you're doing something new, you might not be in the circle of people who are already doing it. Like for me, one of my challenges right now is to get into a running community. I'm not in a running community here in Edmonton, and so I'm basically flying blind, running on my own. And I know if I found myself in a running community, and there are several around the place, I had started but kind of fell back on the community thing. I know if I got in with like minded people, they would push me to be even better of a runner, faster runner, more frequent, etc. So that's my challenge. And it's the same thing. Not only do we not need to tell everybody our dreams and goals, but if, for example, you're looking to maybe find a new job, change careers, and that kind of thing, what is the point of speaking to the person who has been in the same job for the last 25 years and expects to stay there until they retire and then die? What's the point? What do you expect to get from such a person? That person, from the maybe even from the goodness of their heart, is only going to be able to advise you on their own experience, which is, where are you going? Stay here. Okay? Right? What if you went and you found other people, people who were, you know, doing what you wanted to do and had serious conversations with them? What if you came to a coach who would be like, let's separate out what's possible from what the dreams are, what you can do, but would never just cut you down because um that person has no experience? We speak to the wrong people. We want validation to stay small, to not dream, to not step out. So we go to the people who will be like, stay under the covers. Don't do that. If you step out, you don't know what the darkness will be. Right? No, you can't do that. You need to go with people who are and speak to a set of people who have an interest in where you want to be. So that, I think, is part of what we want to do if we want to, step out. That's part of, you are more resourceful than you know. Another point, and we're going to end very soon, is this. Nobody does it alone. All of these eyes and all of these people talking about, okay, yeah, I did this, I did that. When you see somebody out there, somebody who has succeeded in terms of community, most times that person is the tip of a very solid and very broad iceberg made up of different people, different skills, different groups helping them along the way. And so, if you want to do anything big, you have to know that from now you can't do it alone. That's part of the resilience. Asking for help, accepting help, accessing the help that you need for you to get out. Your success is the tip of the community iceberg, and you can't do it alone. And I feel like if you go forward with that mindset, even before you start going out to try something new, your mindset is going to be different. You're not going to be trying to do it all alone. Instead, you'll be looking for those synergies. Who are the people who can help me? What can I offer in exchange for? How can I fit myself in here to get what I want done? Because I understand, and I'm coming from an understanding that I can't do it alone, because you really can't. Nobody does. Everybody you see successful is the tip of a community iceberg. That's what it is. Okay? All right, folks, we're going to end here today. I have to go do my little run. Trying to get back into it. One of the reasons I like going live consistently is because it helps me with habit stacking. And I've spoken about that's how I developed my own like exercise regime. It's habit stacking. It's attaching to my day, or attaching exercise to something that I do anyway. That's how you stack one habit on top of another until you just build that whole string of, okay, I do this, then I do that, then I do that. So for me, it's like I go live, then I go running. You already have on, yeah, that's how it works for me. So that's one of the advantages for me of pouring into you and coming out here and making myself available, is that in the back end of it, I practice the atomic habit of habit stacking. Okay, you can read about it in James Clear's book. It's one of my seminal books, I always say. Okay, have a wonderful day, everybody. And remember, it's not a matter of you cannot do it. Excuse me. Who told you that? Right? If you look at your transferable skills, if you look at your community, if you speak to the right people as opposed to getting discouragement from sources who are not qualified to encourage you. If you do all of those things, you will realize that you are more resourceful than you know. You just have to take the time to break things down for yourself. Okay, see you tomorrow. So I had to release my video yesterday. I didn't even realize it was yesterday, but I'll probably do it tomorrow. I just had some technical issues to kind of work out, so hopefully that entire video, I'll be sending out all the promos today. So I want you to be thinking about all challenges that you've been through and how they have served you, and whether that setback in your life could be looked at as a step back for you to get that momentum that you need for you to just literally go forward. See you guys. Bye. And